Years ago, I saw a video clip of a teenage boy, maybe 17 or so, 16, 17, maybe 18, climbing out of a window um, in Britain, the Queen's mansion in Britain, naked, climbing down like one of those he tied sheets together, naked, and while climbing he slips and falls, and I don't know how far he fell because he was high up. He sort of disappears out of a shot. It was being recorded from the street. Somebody noticed a naked white boy climbing out of the window, at the Queen's mansion, Queen's Palace. I remember recorded it. It was on the internet for a while and just sort of disappeared, and nobody talked about it, or very few people talked about it. I don't even know if you can find. I've yet since to be able to find that video. There is some very devious things going on with children in this country, and worldwide for that matter. Now, and maybe all that's connected to Trump's indictments and what Trump is involved, reportedly, in draining the swamp, and all of these indictments going out to everybody who's been involved in Pizzagate and all this other stuff. Well, time will tell on that. But a very close associate of mine, Source God, put out a 6-minute video that I'm attaching in a link in the description. My gosh, because sometimes people with money get too comfortable. You sort of get this entitlement thing where you feel like you're above the law, and apparently they've been just basically putting children in the mail. You got to see this thing now. There's a very special place in my heart for this, because in an age where it's become a debate. I did a video about a kid named Skeeter Mills, knocking a woman out with a skateboard. Okay. And then another guy, last name Bay, which was disgusting for me because, when I hear the last name Bay, I associate that with higher consciousness because of all of the Bays that, belong to the Moorish group that, put out cool information. So some cat with the last name Bay decided to take my video and use it to make a point that what Skeeter Mills did was admirable. And it doesn't bother me because at least instead of making a negative comment on my page, he went and shot a video. So because he went and shot the video and put his perspective out there, he's going to have to stand by that perspective because perspectives change as we grow. So even though he was disrespectful toward me as far as, calling me a beta male and all of these cuss words, stuff that would have made me want to find out his address when I was younger. It's not stuff I really care about at the moment. It doesn't offend me. Because as time goes by, we will be on the record. I know that the guy that shot that video doesn't know that because his thing is child support. That's the energy that he focuses on, child support, and it really pisses him off. But he doesn't know anything about me. He doesn't know that on the day that my daughter was born, she was taken from me because we wouldn't allow them to vaccinate her. He doesn't know that. He focused on one comment that I made, how dare Skeeter Mills strike the god of humanity. And he just took that and ran left field. I mean, he's just like, well, what about this woman in Texas who killed her husband, killed a boyfriend or whatever and chopped him up? Is she the god of humanity? I mean, we weren't talking about that woman in Texas. Sometimes people do heinous things. male, female, white, black. It's so I mean, we comparing apples and oranges, is futile. And it's this whole thing with child support, whatever he's saying that I'm saying the black woman is the god of humanity. I didn't actually say that. Although I don't disagree. I said hitting the god of humanity. She just happened to be black. But I didn't physically say the black woman was the god of humanity. Having said that, I don't really disagree with that. From the information that I have to date, I know sleep gods and goddesses when I see them. People awake in their own time. Bobby Hemmett said once, don't be mad because your alarm clock was set on 6:30 in the morning and someone else's alarm clock is set on 11:30 in the morning. So you woke up and now you mad because, other people's alarm clock hadn't gone off yet. He keeps saying be patient. And I find myself forgetting that sometimes and slipping into, how can you guys not see this? How can you guys not see that? And then I'm remembered by the wise words of Bobby Hennett and people like Brother Panic and stuff like that. It says everybody's alarm clock goes off at a different time. Just hold your vibration. They'll raise their consciousness, as their clocks go off, according to whatever agreements they made before they incarnated here. I get that. So I don't have anything negative to say about it. First off, the dude didn't come on my page and leave a negative comment. He didn't do that. I appreciate that. What he did do was take my video, splice out a small segment of it, put it on his video, and call me a beta male and some other choice words. Like I said that, in the past when I was younger, I would have wanted to meet him in person to have a discussion, move some furniture. I'm in a different place now. You know what I'm saying? He barely registers on my radar. What he doesn't know about me is that, like I said, our daughter was medically kidnapped on the day she was born. And 2 weeks later, I myself and my daughter's mother was served papers demanding child support. So not only did they kidnap our daughter medically, they tried to get child support from me and the mother and put us through this whole 2-year process in court to get us to submit. We did not. We didn't use any special tactics or whatever. We didn't go into UCC, even though I studied that stuff and present all that in court. You know what I'm saying? There were things that we presented in court. But needless to say, we stood up in court, fought for our daughter, Violet, and told them, you're not taking child support from us. Are you kidding me? You medically kidnap our daughter? We're fighting to get our daughter? We're not getting help from or support, and I don't mean monetary support. I'm talking about, just family members showing up saying, that's my... No, because everybody's distracted. And everybody was divided. And everybody was socially distant back then. Social distancing is not new. It's not new. It's just something that people are talking about the last 4 or 5 months. But they've been preparing you for social distancing for years. I saw it. Because I would tell people, what would happen. And I get this low empathy response. Oh, well, I guess you should let them vaccinate her. No, aborted fetuses, mercury, all the stuff's in the vaccines. I know that our government gave Africa millions of dollars of polio vaccines in the 70s that contained the HIV tissue and viruses from sheep and another animal mixed together to poison the Africans. I mean, I knew about that then. No, you can't vaccinate my daughter. You had no part in the creation. This is not a public thing. This was private. My daughter was made in private. Me and my partner made my daughter in private. None of you were there for that. How do you have no jurisdiction over anything private? It's not a public. It's not anything for the public. Anyway, that's another video. We get into that. Apparently, people have been mailing children. Apparently, you can go online and spend $10,000 on a cabinet with the child's name in the description on the internet display page, and buy a minor. Apparently these rich fucks have been buying children off the internet. I'm not talking about the dark web. I'm talking about like regular websites. So, and I'm including that link in the description. And apparently, judges, child protective services, and the health department has been engaged in taking children that should not be taking them and giving them to homosexual couples. Facts. My daughter was taken from us and given to a lesbian couple. Facts. And one of the dominant, I would say male, because I don't want to be disrespectful to them, but the dominant male presence of that couple likes to use the men's bathroom because she looks like a man and can pass for a man. The way she dresses, the way she looks, and it, casually talked about using the men's bathroom. And that was okay with them. It was a crazy ordeal. And we talked about it. We screamed about it. We begged for help. Not monetary. I'm talking about, support. Crickets. And it's frustrating. And I know why it was crickets. Because you're not able, you've all been hypnotized. How can you help anybody when you're hypnotized yourself? I have compassion for you. I'm not speaking negatively. I know you're hypnotized. You're hypnotized because you're walking around with these masks on, breathing your own carbon dioxide. You stayed inside for 2 months. You socially distance. You stand 6 feet apart in grocery lines. You walk down the one-way aisle in the grocery store, and you look at people sideways who don't walk down the one-way aisle in the grocery store. They got you trained to go through the aisles like a maze in the grocery store, like a giant Z pattern, continuous Z pattern in the grocery stores, and you happily oblige to that. You wait outside bank lines 6 feet apart with masks covering your nose and your mouth. So I get it. I understand why we didn't get there was no outcry for my daughter being medically kidnapped. There was no outcry because you weren't in the space to help yourself break your hypnotic code, let alone anybody else. But we're going to do what we can do to help. And we're going to continue to post information like this until some of the alarm clocks go off. And contrary to what me and her mother have been through, we love you guys. We do. And we love our daughter, Violet. And we fight for her. The message to Violet: your daddy loves you. Your mother loves you. Okay? Your mother's getting strong. And we will see you soon. And you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay, Bernice. You're going to have to pay Judge Daniels for what you did. You're just going to have to pay. And seeing you incarcerated, it's going to be a good goal for us. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good day. Link in the description. Click that link in the description.